Hi, this is Victoria reporting for the Stuck Mike Avcast. In mid-March of 2019, I was honored to be accepted to a NASA Social for SpaceX Demo 1. NASA Social is a program put on by NASA to present its social media followers with opportunities to learn more about NASA missions and programs. Often providing some behind-the-scenes access to NASA facilities, NASA Social participants have the opportunity to meet with NASA engineers, scientists, and even meet astronauts and view rocket launches. They're a great way to learn more about what is happening at NASA and to meet new friends with similar passions. This social will conclude with the SpaceX Demo 1 launch, but more on that later. After a day of learning about the mission through several presentations from NASA and SpaceX employees, it was time to tour the Kennedy Space Center. Our first stop was the Vehicle Assembly Building, or the VAB. Holding its claim as the largest single-story building in the world, the VAB was where the Saturn V rockets and space shuttles were assembled. Next, they were placed on the mobile launch platform to be transported to the launch pad. It was only fitting that a launch pad would be our next tour, Launch Pad 39B to be exact. It saw both Apollo and Skylab missions. It was like stepping into a piece of history. Can you just imagine 7.5 million pounds of thrust traveling through here from the Saturn V rocket? Launch Pad 39B is now being prepped for the SLS, Space Launch System, rocket. From there, we visited the Deep Space Food Production Lab, fondly dubbed VEGGIE. Here, NASA determines how food best grows in space. Experiments include seeing how plants react to different LED lighting, to seeing how to provide proper drainage in a microgravity environment. The Veggie Lab smelled green and healthy, growing dwarf tomatoes, peppers, and herbs. In another lab were colorful zinnias. These flowers were actually the children of the zinnias that Scott Kelly had grown on the International Space Station during his year in space. Our two buses full of NASA Social participants and space enthusiasts soon reunited outside of Launch Pad 39A, which currently has a 20-year lease to SpaceX. Before us was the Crew Dragon, the first step to bringing manned spaceflight back to the United States, aboard the Falcon 9 rocket. Waiting for us there was astronaut Kjell Lindgren, a class of 2009 astronaut and a backup for the future commercial Crew Dragon missions.
I'm so excited to be here. Are you guys excited to be here? So I am, as Jason mentioned, I was hired to the astronaut office in the 2009 class. Spent 2 years in astronaut candidate training. I was assigned to a space station mission in 2013, and I flew in 2015 on expedition 44 and 45, right in the middle of Scott Kelly's one-year mission. And of course, we train with all of our international partners for this amazing orbital laboratory that we have in Earth orbit right now, the International Space Station. And so that meant spending time with our partners in Japan, in Canada, in Europe, and then also in Russia. I had the privilege of launching from Kazakhstan, from Baikonur Cosmodrome on a Soyuz rocket. Spent 141 days on the International Space Station. I got to do 2 spacewalks and saw over 150, 200 different experiments while I was on the space station. Came home in 2015 and so excited to be a part of the commercial crew program right now. My current assignment, I am the backup for all of our SpaceX crews in training. So that's Bob Bankin, Doug Curley, Mike Hopkins, and Victor Glover. So I'm training alongside them. I'm very, very excited for them. Excited for Bob and Doug, who hopefully will be launching soon after this vehicle launches. And of course, Mike and Victor will be launching on their 6-month expedition mission in the not too distant future.
After meeting with Mr. Lindgren, we continued on to the famed countdown clock and enjoyed our time with special guests NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine and astronaut Bob Cabana. Mr. Cabana served as a pilot on STS-31 and STS-53. and then as mission commander on STS-65 and STS-88. Today, he is the director of the Kennedy Space Center. Finally, it was the moment we had all waited for. At 2:49 a.m. on Saturday, March 2nd, 2019, the SpaceX Crew Dragon Demo 1 was to depart for the International Space Station. After this successful mission, Dragon will soon be transporting astronauts to space.
Go, baby, go!
The historic launch kept us wanting to see more and excited about the future of spaceflight. But we wouldn't be where we are today if we didn't learn from what had come before us. A trip to the Kennedy Space Center visitor complex taught us all of the missions before Crew Dragon, from Titan rockets to Saturn V and the shuttle program. We got an up-close view of the Space Shuttle Atlantis and honored those who had perished in the Columbia and Challenger missions. The saying goes that the sky's the limit, but I know all the participants at this NASA Social would be reaching for the stars. Thanks for joining the Stuck Mike Avcast on this incredible journey.